Hello guys, this is Terry from Genkigamingtv, and I'm coming back at you with another Yokai Watch ShadowSide episode review. Today's episode was episode 48. I'm adding that to it. It's Truth About Spirits, or Supirito no Shinjitsu. This episode was great. Probably the best episode of the series, I want to say. We got so much information in the right amount of style and way. I feel like this episode ranks up in the top 10. Like the upper part of it. It's probably within my top 4 or 5 episodes. So this episode starts off with basically the realization that Natsume was captured by Soranaki, and basically what happened was Toma goes Byakuyo and Akinori uses Suzaku, and they tried to pursue Soranaki and rescue Natsume, but they were unable to do so as Soranaki reveals its true form. I guess this is its final form, or its perfect form for the corruption. And they're basically trying to fight back against its little wisp attacks, but are being forced into a more defensive stance. Soranaki's true perfect form basically summons these little purple balls that then project this petrifying, corrupting magic that, had Byakuyo Toma not used that shield ability, both Byakuyo and Akinori / Suzaku would be petrified in that purple corruption, or would have been corrupted, because we've not seen that hit a yokai yet. The scene then transitions over to Keisuke, Ayame, and Akinori's grandmother, and they're all just kind of there chilling with Fudomi Boy to a certain extent, and Akinori's grandmother is watching the events kind of unfold via her crystal ball, and she says something really close to what I'm about to say, something along the lines to this. It seems like I can't sense or see Natsume anywhere, because she was saying that she wasn't able to really see her within the crystal ball to a certain extent because of how she's viewing the battlefield. Keisuke starts to get a little tearful. Keisuke then gets a flashback of Natsume giving him the Yokai Watch and saying, "It's your time to use this to protect the world, or to protect our world." Keisuke then runs off crying, and Ayame asks Akinori's grandmother if it would be okay for her to run after him to make sure he's okay. And our scene transitioned basically with Ayame running after him to Akinori receiving a call from his Obaba, or his Obasan, or his grandmother, however you want to put it. It says Obaba, which I think is rather cute, the way he calls his grandmother that. And we actually get a little bit of information basically saying, is Toma with you? Are you two together? Are you okay? Kind of saw part of what was going on. We're in a bit more trouble than what we were expecting. And she basically referenced something about their true selves, their spirits, and Natsume's spirit to a certain degree. So we get another scene transition. This one is possibly one of my favorite scenes within the entire anime series. Period. I mean, Yokai Watch, period. Junior sees Keisuke weeping. It's not crying. It's evolved into weeping because of how how tearful and sad he's feeling, Junior turns into a chibi version of Natsume, and he gives the pep talk of the century. This is probably one of the best speeches I think I've heard in the series ever. I love the serious tone of it. Well, it's serious and playful at the same time, because Junior tries to give Keisuke a choco bar because he's like, choco bars make everything better. He doesn't necessarily say that, but he implies it because choco bars are like his life, per se. But he gives the speech that Natsume is constantly protecting and sheltering you because she cares a lot for you. And he implies, if you're worried this much, you need to do something about it. It's your turn to protect us and to save her. And we get a scene of Akinori and Toma sitting there or standing there really pondering about what Obaba, or Akinori's grandmother, said about their spirits, their reincarnations or reincarnated forms. Natsume wakes up inside of Soranaki's shadowscape. That is what I'm calling it. It's like the Soranaki world. And Soranaki basically shows Natsume / Shuka the kingdom / throne / castle area, and is starting to really work on Natsume's psyche, because Natsume is kind of reeling from being inside of Soranaki. And we get another scene transition back to Toma, who goes Suzaku, and Akinori that uses Kirin. And they keep fighting Soranaki. They're trying to find an opening to save Natsume. They're playing rather defensively. And they eventually get pushed back to the ground. They're not hurt, but they start to feel like we can only do so much here. They're still looking for that perfect opening to save her, but Akinori hears Keisuke summon someone, and it's Bore Bancho! Finally! He has been seen a total of, 2 episodes, 3 episodes, 4 episodes? Something like that. It's not that many. I'm actually double checking. Apparently it's only been about 2 episodes. Well, technically 3. 3 episodes. So, it's so nice to see Bancho back, or Brother Bancho. And it's basically time for war in Keisuke's mind. He's like, I want my sister back, and I want her back now. So Keisuke goes on a summoning spree. Jibanyon, Koma-san, Komajiro, Zudomaru, Saba-san or Saba-chan, Bunny Trap, Shioko, who is canon. Bunny Trap and Shioko are actually canon. I had thought that they might be slightly, a tiny bit canon, but filler canon. But there's Arya, Kyubi, Similong. So he basically summons the entire gang and has them all, and Robanyan 00. So they all start to attack. And while everyone else is attacking, Michi is standing beside Keisuke and hands him his arc. You should probably summon me too. And they're just kind of looking at him like, you're already here. So they appease Michi by summoning him. But as the fight is going on, as Komajiro's basically doing bullet time dodging Soranaki's attacks, Seiba-san's whipping it, Zudomaru is Zudomaruing it, Similong's using its sound-based attack, Robanyan's using tech, and Blizzaria is using ice, and Bunny Trap's doing what it does best, and basically everyone is fighting well, and then they all get knocked back to the ground. Toma becomes Yoshitsune at that point, because he's like, there has to be a weakness, there has to be something we can do, and by basically using Yoshitsune's power, he is able to see that the hands of Soranaki are weak points, and the red yokai eye floating or hovering above Soranaki's body is also a weak point. And Soranaki is trying to force Shuka/Natsume to remember what was going on. Basically, Soranaki was trying to force a flashback. We don't approve of people who force flashbacks, guys. And he's also trying to imply that she should be sitting on her throne. And he's basically breaking her down psychologically, kinda to a certain degree, with what all he's basically doing, because Natsume is slowly getting down into that fetal-like position with her hands on her ears, kind of knelt down, and then we get a scene of Keisuke flying on Orochi, Akinori flying on Kirin, and Toma as his new and best form. Yes, I am not doing this as Fielder Ashura. I always forget if it's Ashura or Ashira pronunciation wise, but that does not matter. So we get a split screen of those three, and then we get a flashback. Soranaki is basically Kuta or Kuten, and Kuta/Kuten/Soranaki was someone that Natsume/Shuka really cared for. It was kind of implied that she loved him, and he was once a loyal servant to her. Someone who would become her potential husband is what was being implied because of the use of love. But then later on, they realized that Kuten betrayed, or Kuten/Kuta betrayed Shuka by killing her father. And that's definitely a no-go. You're gonna become king eventually, Kuten. You could have just waited the guy out. I mean, I guess that didn't work with the English monarchy, but Kuten could have waited it out. But no. Chose not to. Chose to assassinate Shuka's father. So Shuka and her guards basically locked Kuten in an underground desert castle thing. Well, it became his operation area, where he basically grew full of hate to the point that he was transformed into Soranaki. Would you guys consider this a yokai evolution or a yokai ascension? Because we're pretty sure that Kuten has another form as well, other than what we've seen him as in the trailer, because it's kind of implied that certain yokai have like 3 to 4 forms within a certain perspective here. And I'm sure a lot of people knew Kuten was coming up, so I'm going to tell you guys some facts here, some kanji facts, before we move on to the finish of the episode. Soranaki basically means sky deceased. It has the kanji for sky, and then it has part of the kanji for death. Well, Kuten has sky and 10. Basically Sora plus 10 or Ku plus 10, which basically infers empty heaven. Both could be a play on words to a certain degree, that enforced Kuten isn't truly, even when we get uncorrupted Kuten back, that he still may not be someone to truly be trusted. Because if you look at it, empty sky, empty heaven kind of implores that he wants to take over, that maybe his love and loyalty for Shuka may just all be a lie. To a certain degree, I'm just speculating. And also, guys, in Forever Friends lore, Soranaki is the one who basically drove the yokai race to extinction in the past, and is the one responsible for Shien becoming Mao Shien. So there's a little bit of extra background. So as the episode basically closes off, Keisuke, Akinori, and Toma are able to destroy the hands and the floating eye. Shuka comes out and basically gives a speech about protecting the world and stopping Soranaki. And Natsume ascends even further into Shuka form by becoming, I'm gonna call this 100% Shuka, because she's finally taken a more Shuka looking form. I guess we could also infer this at like 75 or 80% Shuka, because it might not be 100% because of the fact that it's Natsume's spirit kind of being reincarnated and powered up as Shuka. But yeah, Shuka basically prepares to dive in and fight Soranaki after giving that speech, and that is the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed the review, and as always, I appreciate your support, and I appreciate you guys watching the videos, commenting on the videos. And next week is our true final episode according to the wiki. It's finally showing episode 49. After that, I do have 2 videos planned for ShadowSide. One is going to be my favorite yokai from ShadowSide, and one is going to be a series end review that basically will be about a 10 to 15 minute video of me reviewing the series as a whole, what was done right, what was done wrong, what I thought or what I think may have been rushed a little bit due to ratings and due to Level 5 just being Level 5. But I have those 2 videos planned for after the final episode next week. So yeah, I do appreciate you guys, and I will be doing the OG series after this, whatever the new OG series for Yokai Watch is going to be called. And yet again, you guys are wonderful. Have yourselves an amazing morning, afternoon, and or evening. Bye bye for now.